So advance payment and down payment. Okay. When we are going to procure, your procurement team is going to procure some raw material from vendor, right? So uh, in some of the case, there is an agreement that you need to, the vendor will ask for down payment. Give me 20% as advance. Then after that, I will supply you, and post supply of the goods you can make the 80% payment, right? So for that, procurement team will you know uh, create one purchase requisition of that particular raw material and PO, and then upon that PO they will request finance team to make the payment as a 20% of total. Suppose total PO cost is 1 crore rupees, so they will request to finance department to make this 20% of this invoice to the vendor as a advance, right? Like 20 lakhs as a advance to the vendor. Then upon that, they will supply the goods, right? So likewise, yeah, there is a contract between vendor and the business, right? We have a contract, so we need to make the advance payment, right? Likewise, we receive the advance payment from the customer. Like we are we are going to supply the goods, and customer is asking uh, you know 50 lakhs of amount of goods. So we'll definitely we will ask, give me 10% of advance payment. After that, once we receive the advance payment, after 1 month we will supply the goods. Okay. On that advance payment, once we receive the advance payment, we start producing the goods, making the goods available to supply to the customer, to that customer, right? So we receive advance payment, we pay advance payment to uh, vendor, and we receive advance payment from customer. So these all are set up in all the master data, or all these configuration should be done in SAP, and then after that, advance payment entry, customer and vendor, right? Cross company code transaction. Cross company code transaction, as I said in the in case of parallel valuation, which I explained, like we have two different company codes, one in India or one in USA, and China, Japan, or any other country. So how cross company code transaction is take place, right? Like how cross company transaction configuration has to be set up. Like in India, we have in case of India also, suppose we have a different company code, we have a 3 line of business, right? One suppose one company code, in case of if I give my example of Dalmia Bharat Limited, we have two company codes in India, one for Dalmia Cement and another for Dalmia Refractory business, right? And one for Dalmia 7. Dalmia 7 deals with the different line of business. So in India, we have three company code. So all company code transaction, right? So one company code to another company code, the business take place also, right? Correct, na? From one plant to another plant also transaction happens.
Yes, correct.
So in that case, how cross company code transaction configuration setups in SAP? So these all are we have to see in cross code company transaction. Withholding tax. So withholding tax means nothing but the income tax, right? TDS, you can say TDS. So whatever the service we have to, we provide upon and we receive the money, right? When we make the payment to service provider, so on that we need to deduct, a company has to deduct the TDS. So that is called withholding tax. We need to deduct the tax, and that tax has to be deposited to the bank, to the government, right? So these all are set up, these all are configuration, these all are master data and configuration for withholding tax we have to see in FI. Okay. Asset accounting, right? So in withholding tax, we have, as you know, that we have uh, section, many sections are there, right? So in that section, like 194C, 194Q, these all are TDS tax code we have to create, and accordingly, according to the law, we have to calculate the charge. We have to charge that TDS into that invoice, okay, and payment also. So accordingly, we have to see in there in practical sessions, okay, in TDS class. Asset accounting, as I mentioned, like asset accounting is a very important topics in SAP and S4 HANA, because in S4 HANA it is called a new asset accounting nowadays, because asset account there in S4 HANA compared to ECC, lot of changes are there, but SAP, but in asset accounting is an area you will find many changes in, and due to that the name of asset accounting has been changed into new asset accounting. So asset accounting as explained in parallel valuation, right? The different accounting principle, different calculation methods are involved, right? So in asset accounting, we have to see how the chart of depreciation is calculated, accounting determination, how accounting determination will take place, screen layout. What is screen layout? Okay, basically screen layout is nothing but we will configure, like area wise principal, accounting principle wise posting, right? So we have to design, we have to configure the screen layout for that. Depreciation area, okay, what is depreciation area? We have to see the depreciation area, okay. So basically depreciation area, we have different depreciation area, right? Like tax depreciation, we have a standard depreciation, book depreciation, right? A special purpose depreciation area, right? So as I mentioned, in one accounting principle, depreciation, calculation of depreciation is different, okay, compared to another accounting principle, right? So depreciation calculation is different from India to US. So suppose you have one machinery, one machine in India, same machine in US. So calculation method, posting method, and life of assets is different in Indian company. Life is different is in the US company. Depreciation method is different here, and depreciation method is different there in US. Calculation is different. So, and tax purpose also, we have taxation purpose depreciation calculation, right? So taking all this consideration, we have different posting. Due to that asset accounting is very critical things and a critical area, and you have to understand very carefully about the asset accounting, right? So I'll explain each and every area, and in that these all other topics are involved, like asset creation and maintenance, asset transfer. If you want to transfer your asset from one company code to another company code, right, or one plant to another plant, so how you transfer the asset. Asset acquisition, when you are going to purchase one asset, right, during the period or month end, during the period or starting of financial year, fiscal year, okay. So how you acquire, how the posting happens, okay. So acquisition means is nothing but you are acquiring the goods, acquiring the asset, right? So maybe with invoice or without invoice, okay. Automatic, this will reflect from procurement department also. Procurement department will be responsible to asset acquisition, right, asset posting. So whatever the accounting entry, that will come into the finance. You have to be responsible each and every financial activity, like making the payments to to vendor, right, and calculation of depreciation run, okay. Master creation of asset master, okay. So everything, retirement, scrapping, depreciation calculation, accumulated depreciation, ordinary depreciation, okay, reports on depreciation, asset closing activity, okay. We have a separate closing of fixed assets, okay. So this involve lot of time, so we have to take care very carefully. So we'll explain one by one. Financial statement version, as I mentioned, it's FI is you know mm, uh, internal, external reporting, right? So in order to present your reports, your statements to the auditor, what are the what are the reports are involved, like balance sheet, P&L statements, configuration, financial versions like statement FSV, financial statement version, right? Financial statement version is nothing but a format. It's a, you can say, it's a format to present the balance sheet, to present the P&L. Okay, how it is configured, we have to see. The configuration, standard configuration, standard functionality is given in SAP. How it will, all the P&L will be presented in FSV. We have to see that. Okay. Assignment of GL, how the GL will be assigned, to the financial statement version. Balance sheet, how the balance sheet is generated, P&L is generated, and comparison report is generated. We have to see in financial statement version. Okay. Integration, very very important. Integration, as I mentioned, this is the pinpoint of your SAP FICO. Okay. Integration between FISD, integration between FIMM, integration between FIHR. So whatever the yeah, employee or workforce is joining your organization, as soon as they join, HR will make the entry of that particular, so as soon as they maybe HR will use another software, so that particular software will be linked, will be integrated with SAP. Okay na? So that entry will come into the SAP. Okay, so that is called integration. Integrate, ठीक है ना, इंटीग्रेशन, इंटीग्रेट कर देना, दोनों को इंटीग्रेट कर दिया, मतलब कोई भी यहाँ भी एक्टिविटी होगी वो SAP में आके उसका इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाएगा. ठीक है. Integration with SD, integration with MM, as I mentioned in your P2P cycle in Excel sheet, that whenever P2P cycle will take place, like purchase order creation, purchase requisition, purchase order creation, then goods received. So as soon as good received is punched into SAP, okay, that accounting entry will be generated to the to FI area, right? So integration, due to integration, how the data is coming, how the GL accounting, how the information is coming to the FI area, whether this activity is done by MM only, then how it is coming into FI. Okay, that is coming only due to integration. What is the pinpoint of integration? What is the base point of integration? How the logic has to be built that the accounting entry will generate into the finance. So we have to see the logic here. This is very important logic. Integration point. What is the integration point that we need to understand? We will see in the integration with MM. Likewise, in SD area, right? What whenever delivery is happening or sales invoice is being created, so how the accounting entry is coming to the in the finance side. Okay, so that finance people is seeing the report, by running the report, that this much of amount we have billed to a particular customer, we have to receive the goods to the we have to receive the money from this particular customer, that on a particular date. How this information is coming to, they are SD people only, they are responsible to punch the sales invoice, that's it, invoice to the customer, that's it. Okay, without any information to the FI, but how the information is coming, only due to integration logic. So how logic, how integration point, we have to see in integration between SD and FI. Okay, so out of that, we have many reports, these all the entry, whatever the entry we have, whether it is GL account entry, manual payment entry, automatic payments entry, interest calculation, okay, dunning, cash journal, advance payment, cross company, external asset accounting, financial, all all entries, all the financial entry, all the day to day activity, is being placed in SAP, so that is being saved in any report, whether it is GL report, accounts receivable report, payables report, and fixed asset. We have all the reports, right? GL and GL reports, the many dimensional we have, right? Like we have 10 to 15 reports in GL, we have 10-15 reports in receivable, account receivable, 10-15 reports in payable, fixed assets reports. We have many reports in fixed assets area, right? Closing activity, then closing activity we'll see the GL closing, like all the closing activity, month end closing, whether it is month end closing or year end closing, we have to see all the closing activity, like GL closing, AR closing, AP closing, balance carry forward. Balance carry forward is nothing but in year end, suppose in 2021 we are going to close our book in 2021. So whatever the balance is there, we have to carry that balance in the next financial year. So what is the process we need to understand? So GL carry forward, we have another T code, another set up a step that we have to run, and that all the GL balance. GL balance is what? GL balance is nothing but open balance. Whatever the open balance we have to carry to the next financial year. ठीक है? उसी तरह है AR का. AR means customer, all the customer open items. Open items is what? What is the meaning of open items, Ansar? Rohit, any idea?
जिसका मतलब कंप्लीट प्रोसेस नहीं हुआ है.
Ansar? Ansar, are you there? Hey, Ansar, are
Hello?
you there? Yeah. So open item, basically this is very basic thing and most important. That's what I just wanted to interact to you here. Open items. So open items basically is like the money yet to be received or money yet to be paid, right? So whenever we create any customer invoice, okay, that entry will go and hit to customer account, that is money yet to receive. Okay, that is not clear. We did not receive the money. When we did not receive the money, that is the open item, yet to receive the money. Likewise in AP, open item means yet to pay the money to the vendor. Correct, na?
हाँ, correct है.
Okay. So this thing we need to understand. Actually, I wanted to ask that whether open item, word or not in SAP. Most of the time, it will use open item, closed item. Okay. Open line item, closed line item.
I have idea about it because of I'm working on QuickBook now, so that there is an open invoice is there, some type of invoice that is not paid yet.
Right. So open item means that is not yet cleared or processed. Okay. So these all we'll see in a closing activity. These all are a course content. Apart from that, we have maybe I did not mention something, so I will cover once we go ahead. In between, I can cover if I I might have forgot some area or some point, then I will cover there. Okay. So this course content I will be sharing you, and you go through, and then what we do, we can start from next session. We can start I mean explaining you in the system how to create the company code starting from org structure. So let's start org structure from next session. So I'll request you all that can we connect, we have to actually connect every